Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, School of Tea. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. My thing was being grumpy again. I don't know what happened. I was logged in and I was ready to go, and then it like started spinning, and then the window just went away. It's like, oh. Wait, come back! No.
Yeah, I saw you appear, and I was like, he's and then you disappeared. And I went, oh.
I was on, and I was like waiting. Like I got on a little bit early, and I was just waiting for it to load, and then like sometimes it'll go on the thing, and it'll go connecting, it'll do the little wheel, and then the window will just vanish. I'm like, whoa, where did it go? I don't understand what's happening ever. Why is this so weird? It's so messed up. Like it's all. Oh well. Sorry. It's fine. It's not your fault. It's my ancient computer that I'm probably gonna have to replace. So I'm gonna have to.
Oh, that's never fun. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I don't. Yeah. So. Other than that prospect looming upon the horizon.
Always fun.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be Sorry. Replacing technology is never fun. So.
No, it's annoying because like I don't know about these things. Like I just want a thing that works. That's all I need.
Right.
But, like it's definitely a market where there's like 700 billion options. And I don't know.
Right.
What is the option that I actually require? Like I don't know. I just need a thing. Like I don't know.
It really is terrible. Like it genuinely is not good at all because it's well, I will say right now a lot of things are hinging around, the big buzzword in tech is AI. And so everybody's trying to throw that in all of their marketing and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
And well, it's like, okay, so like what does it mean for that to be AI? Do I need that? What are the requirements to have that in my machine? And so there's a lot involved in that.
Yeah, I just need it to turn on. I need it to. That's it, really. I don't really need. I don't have like high.
Oh, come on.
Requirements here. Like I'm not like a spec guy. Like I don't care. I'm not like I need it to do like multiple things at one time. No. I need it for this. No. I need it for like typing and stuff. I need it for That's kind of it, right? It's really all I need for.
Would you look at that? Yeah. It's not a whole lot.
I need a whole lot, but I need more than like the real bottom ones because I won't cut it because I need like ports and I need plug-in things and I need stuff like that. So
I can make you a spreadsheet if you'd like. That's always fun. Everyone loves a spreadsheet.
I know. Sorry. Not like looking at spreadsheets. They harm me. But other than, it's fine. I can't. So I have to somehow wade into this disaster and try to figure out how one goes about procuring a computer in 2024. I don't know how that works. I don't know. It's not like a store. See, the store model is good as right. It's a good thing about stores because it limits your option paralysis.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
Because you go into a store, they're like, we have these 4. Okay. I can work with that. I can work with
I
can deal with 4.
Yes,
right?
Because, because you're not thinking of, well, but what if, or like, what does it mean to have the extra doodad and the extra gigawatt, thing involved?
Especially, well, the other problem is, right? So like, so if you are a person like I'm just going to say, I'm just come out and close your ears. I don't mess with like MacBook stuff, right? Like I don't care about that stuff. That's nonsense. But so like the problem though, right, is now if you're in the Windows PC world, there'll be about 9 different ones that are actually all exactly the same.
Oh,
right.
No, this is true. This is true.
And so they'll just have like a different name on them. And there'll be some like slight variations, but like not enough to really matter. So your option pool is polluted with a lot of clones. Right. So like this, like you're like this one, like A and B are actually just this, for all intents and purposes, they're the same thing. Right. And so you just sort of have to try to figure out which ones are actually different versus which ones are the same in that category.
Well, I think,
right? Like it's
kind of what you're asking there is like, okay, I know there are differences, but what are the meaningful differences? Because that is what it actually is. Because
a lot of the hardware differences are going to be negligible, right? In like a certain bracket range, right? It's going to be the same amount of RAM. It's going to be the same amount of. It's going to be the same processing chip. It's going to be the same amount of like all that stuff is going to be the same. It's going to be the same graphics card thing. It's going to be all. It's all going to be the same. Right. There may be a few like layout differences, right? But like those are kind of negligible, right? I just need to make sure I got a big USB thing, right? Because that's what I got to have for this microphone. And like, check. So this, I don't have to do all that. That's all, whatever. So it's kind of like it's like if you're going to buy, like if you're looking at like, you know, cars are like this too, like a certain level Honda for a certain level Toyota, like it's kind of the same thing, right? Like the differences would be minute and like personal preference, but I don't have a preference, so don't care. Like I just want I'm not in the know enough to be like, oh, I need it to do this.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't care. That's not relevant to me. I don't
No,
the nuance is lost on me, right? Like I just need the thing. So I don't
I totally understand. And I don't buy computers regularly, but I try and like, hey, what's kind of like why do I have a spreadsheet with refrigerators in it? Like it's just because like
fair.
Just in case there's a catastrophic thing and like I've got to go buy today. Like let me check this out. Which we ended up having to do with our refrigerator. But anyway, that's besides so it didn't pay out. But like, yeah, and I think that's that because you don't want to, and also there's a fear that I have of like I do want to know what the meaningful differences are, but also like I then need to educate myself to the point of like I know what that meaningful is, especially for me of like what is important for my needs and how I use things. Because if you can read all the PC mag and reviews all you want, but unless that reviewer is like reviewing it for your situation, it's like, well, this is all lost on me because that's actually not how I use my computer at all.
Yeah, and the problem is like all of those people are writing with like a very like high level of demand, right? Like need is the correct word, right? They have like hyper specific needs. Like the people writing those are using it for like stream decking or like they're using it for like, you know, they're actually using it for like gaming stuff or they're actually using it for like really, really high level like businessy stuff, right?
Or video editing and exporting.
Yeah, like
and
video editing, that's a big thing,
things.
right?
Yes, absolutely. Or development. It's a development thing. Yes. At that
and so
point,
like I'm just a dude that needs a computer in his house.
Yes.
Like, I don't really care about a lot of that stuff. Like I don't.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, like nobody at the end of the day, none of those people are reviewing it as an email machine. Like, that's exactly it.
Like basically where I'm at is like I know based on my familiarity from like our school devices, like I need more than like a Chromebook situation.
Sure.
Right. I need more than that. That's all I got though. Like I don't know. Not like a lot more than that maybe, but like I need stuff that has like memory and like you can actually do things with, right? But like,
Yeah.
so I need more than that. Not like a ton more, but more.
Sure.
But not like $1,500 worth more, right? Because that's like
well, and that's the real stickler, isn't it? Of like, I can spend it is weird. Like, oh my gosh, like I can spend zero up to like $900, and they're kind of like there's not big jumps, but then like if I jump up to $1,500, now all of a sudden it is an entirely different bracket, a different class of computer.
Yeah.
But everything else before then is like no difference, no difference, no difference, no difference.
It's like marginally different, right?
Yes.
Like
yes,
it's like marginally. There's like minute detail differences, but like they're not enough to matter, right? Unless you're like again like in some sort of like in-depth enthusiast. Or guitars do this too, right? Like broadly, all guitars in a certain section, they're all the same, right? There are subtle nuances. Like the only difference is going to be like the pickup thing about how it sounds, right? Like the characteristics of that. Everything else, it's just like the same, right? It's basically the same. The neck might feel a little different, same, right? And then all of a sudden you jump up to like a massive jump, and then there's allegedly some difference there, right? But like broadly, if you just look at like Fender stuff, right? Like if you think like you break it all the way down to that, like if you go through their line, right? There's not just a giant amount of difference between like the cheapest and then like the middle price, and then not until you start getting like way up, because guitars are stupid expensive and they're not. It's not a healthy hobby for anybody to have. But like they get insane, and like
yeah,
that's stuff that I don't need in my life, right? And you know, there's a point where like I don't need that much.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh
like,
yes,
because for what I do and what I know about and blah blah, there's a really steep depreciation drop in value, like dollar per value gained through the thing. Like it's too much. The discrepancy is too big.
yes.
So there's a line. It's like this is all I'm willing to actually spend based on what I'm going to use it for.
We're realistic. I mean, I see this
like realism, right? Like this, I'm not going to do.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to be like doing like crazy development things, right? And like I don't know. Also, because my machine is so old, like literally anything will be a gigantic upgrade. So I don't like it doesn't even matter at some point either, because like no matter what, it will be like exponentially more efficient and better functioning. So sort of takes some of the load off, right? Knowing like it doesn't really matter that much because
yeah. Well, yes, where literally anything will be an upgrade. No, I totally, my gosh, like I find myself when I am like, okay, let me spec out what's going on right now. And I find myself clicking up the buttons and I'm like, oh, right. No, I do need 1,100 of these. And right, I do. And then I'm going, oh, I just spec'd out a $7,000 laptop. I don't do $7,000 laptop work. Like that's not what I do.
Yeah, definitely not. So like I don't.
Yeah, but I see the same. But the other really thing involved in this is like, well, it's obviously cars of how many. Like I go in and search cars, like replacement cars and things like that. I do this in my spare time, but I have fun. But I'm like, it is so hard. It's almost impossible to find like base model or even mid-level cars, because everybody wants they can't do the mid, but like it's like the upper mid and then the top tier. Like the top tier trim levels are all I can find in a lot of things. And it's like, well, I don't need all that. Like,
do you think though that that's just because the dealer makes the most money off of that markup?
No, it is. And so
they're like, no, we're not going to carry the base model, because I saw a thing the other day where some dealerships, not all dealerships, okay, I'm not dunking on all car salesmen, maybe, right? Although there is a reputation here where like somebody tried to order the base model car thing for some I think it was a Ford truck, and they were like, yeah, no problem, and then the car that they sold them on the thing, there was all these upgrade packages that they just sneaked on there.
Yeah.
Bro, what the heck?
They don't
This
want
is why
you
no
to
one likes you.
them. Yes. And this was sorry, let me get a drink of water. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so yes, it's been hot here, so you gotta.
Oh, but I've been driving around and I've been thinking about this. I have a question in the back of my head. What is the best base model car?
Okay.
What is the best base model car? Because what do they send out for the review units for all of the sites? It's all all the super trim or the trim level they made the most changes to. It's never a base model, so you never get that review. I'm like, right, I don't even think I could walk onto and find a base model Camry or Civic. I don't think that even exists on a car lot. You have to special order that, and by the time you get the delivery fees and everything, you're already at the next model, next trim level. So why even bother?
It's a good point, right? I don't know if anybody's going to have a base model sitting around. I think it's probably Toyota.
Well, that's true.
Right. I feel like if anybody just has those sitting around, it's got to be them. I don't know how many of them there are going to be. There's going to be one.
One.
Right.
That's fair.
And so then you're going to get some weird color. Actually, I don't think Toyota makes weird colors. Other car companies do that. They'll have that. I think that's why sometimes you see cars that are really strange colors. I always wonder, did the person really want that color?
Oh yeah.
Or was that just the only one available in that trim package? And they're just yeah, why not? I wonder.
Well, and
when you see them when they're just really weird,
yes. And it happens on both ends of the spectrum. They do really, really random colors for the base models, and then they do off the wall colors for the top end. There's this Toyota, the TRD Pros, for the Forerunners. There's this blue, this weird blue that you can only get on the TRD Pro. That's a specific color. But also they make this really, really ugly gray that you only get on the base models. So that's just
oh my.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of weird. One of our neighbors has a really weird gray color, and I can't decide if it's cool or not. I don't know. It's just unique enough to where it's I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I haven't decided whether or not.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard though, because I am drawn to those to the upper ones, especially with the laptops, and I was no, I just have to say quit, stop it, go back down a couple of notches on this.
Yeah, because I don't need that much, right? And then the other problem too with electronic things, at least, buying better does not mean increased longevity, right? Because in some things, or it used to be anyway, back in my day, when you did buy a bit higher, right? It was better, right? And that meant it would last more. But with electronic things, that is definitely not how that works. Because most of the components are broadly the same anyway. All the connecting things that connect the RAM and the hard drive, those are the same, right? Those are the same circuit boards and the same wires in all of them.
Yeah,
that doesn't get upgraded.
Nope, because then you really are,
unless you're a PC build dude, right? Then you have control over all the really weird minutia stuff. You're oh, I'm going to use this specific cement glue, whatever that stuff is that holds it on there.
The
Like,
thermal
the thermal bond
paste.
seal paste, whatever that stuff is. And I'm going to use these wires and this fan and this blah, blah, blah. You're like, okay. Right. That's a level of detail that I do not require. Not even a little bit. So I don't know.
Yeah, and then again, going meaningful, and it's not just meaningful as in like, yes, is there a difference, but is there a meaningful difference to me? Well, I actually experience that difference, and that's what I have to ask myself. Especially, just my tip is like, I look at a processor and I'm like, am I really going to notice that big difference between this gigahertz thing and this other one, like a 0.2 difference? No, I'm not. I'm never going to experience that in real life.
Because I'm not going to push it through paces. I'm not going to be. Like,
yes, but what I will experience and it be impact me all the time is RAM. Like,
true.
Always get all of the RAM. Like, just it's
good point.
all.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah. Anyway, that's my crisis currently. Just like, oh man. The impending.
Yeah, doom over that.
Yeah, so what have you been doing?
Well, we have been I've been enjoying some air conditioning. I have been I'm actually recording to you with you from a location I have not recorded from. Home base.
Oh,
so
my stars!
It's weird. It's weird. It's like all of my things are here. I forgot how to adjust the volume when I sat down. So I'm like, this is so crazy. I don't know what's going on. Everything as as it should be, and I'm completely thrown off. It's basically the story of my life right now.
That's true. Well, welcome back. Congratulations on being your very own house
for now. But it's fine. We're still in the process of building, so it is a thing. But no, we man, what did we do? Oh, I went to another Biz Blitz yesterday.
Oh man.
And I'm experimenting with where I sit for these. So as a reminder, these are where like everybody sits at a table. There are 4 people to a table. You each have 2 minutes.
A, B, C, D. Right?
Yep, A, B, C, D. Okay. Each have an elevator pitch. A stays at the table. B moves 1 up. C moves 2 down, and D moves 2 forwards. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But I would
want to pick A just because I don't want to move.
Okay, right.
Because I'm lazy and I would like mess it up. I'd be like, oh, I go to the wrong table.
So I have moved. I've done the moving thing at every single one. So I was like, I'll try A. I'll try sitting at A. Right. I'll try A today. And it definitely from a like a sales position thing, it definitely comes off the most thirsty. Because you're also the first to speak.
Oh, you always have to go first. Oh, never mind. I don't want to be A.
Right. Yeah,
that sounds worse. Okay.
Yeah. So you're the thirsty salesman over here. And it's like, oh, right. This is terrible. Because I get to sit and I get to eyeball everybody as they come and sit down. And I get to be the one who can first pass out my business card before they've even sat down at the table. I've already replaced them, right? It's just like,
I take it back. I want to be D. I want to go last.
Yes. So this was my going theory the last time I did this was D is the best one. And here's why. Because you get to hear everybody else's pitch. And so by the time it gets to you, you have specific talking points or not, because sometimes there's no overlap, to every single person who's at the table. A is cold open. You have no idea who these people are. You don't get to hear anything about them. You just kind of have to start talking and then watch for facial expressions and adjust on the fly. This is terrible. Do not sit in A. So yeah, D is going to be the one that I sit at next time because that's the best option. But I am starting to run into people who I see at a couple of these around more and more. So that's interesting. There was a there was a lady there. This unfortunately was at a uh was it a Top Golf place or the big driving range thing in town where you just go and you get a bay and you can shoot balls out into the driving range, whatever. So they're really big on. They had an all cash bar. They had some hors d'oeuvres, but they had no water. They had no water out. And as the aforementioned, it's 1,000,000,000 degrees. I'm getting my drink of water right now.
Yeah, it's officially June in Missouri.
Yeah.
Come on,
no water. So I like waited in line to go to get to the bartender and was like, I need a water and ice, please. And he was like, do you need ice? And I looked at him like very hard and I was like, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I need ice.
I'm surprised you didn't try to hit him with the, yo, I need a water on the rocks.
Look, I'm a big enough pain at these things.
Like, I don't know.
I'm a big enough of a pain in the butt at these things. So I'm so awkward. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not going to even bother with this. So yeah, I did, but I guess some people will just like walk up and be like, well, I guess all there is alcohol, so I guess that's what I have to have. And I was like, unfortunately, some people, whatever. This one lady.
Also, it's like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, no, this is at 4:00 at night, so it's fine. It's fine.
Well, sometimes you go those ones in the morning. Guys, this is breakfast.
This is breakfast. Why are we hitting the Bloody Marys so hard? This is not okay. Nope, that's just rum. No, but she's drinking some alcoholic spritz or whatever, and my goodness, I was like, I'm kind of embarrassed for you. Because she sat down. Then we're supposed to be like sales pitching for ourselves. And I knew she worked for a bank, and that's all I got. Because then she started talking about how, well, she lived in Oklahoma and she moved to Missouri. Well, it's because she got a divorce, and she still has that house. And man, interest rates. Am I right? I can't sell that house. And she was just like vomiting on all this. And so, I'm really, and when she finished talking, I was like, so what do you do? And then they buzzed and we had to rotate, but she was doing that at every single table. Okay. There were 14 tables that we had people rotated through, and every single one was, well, I got this. It was just this life story. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is not okay, well, whatever. That was our decision.
Whatever. That's it's your loss.
And then here is the piece de resistance that I am trying. Oh man, here we go. Okay, you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's passing out business cards, right? Blam, blam, blam. I've got some business cards there. They're magnets though, so it already is a notch different of like shablam. It's a magnet. You weren't expecting that, were you? No, you weren't. Anyway, what really knocks their socks off is instead of handing them a business card, you hand him a branded tennis ball.
Yeah, there you go.
That, ladies and gentlemen, that will get a room talking real fast.
Guys, standing out is an important trait.
Yes,
world, right?
So I didn't give them out to everybody because I just didn't have enough. So I was kind of selective with who I gave them out to. But man, that was like what is this? And they were like, is this? And they'd rotate it. And there it is, like name of company, phone number, like logo. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I was just like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is why I have an awkward backpack with me, is to give you this. You're welcome.
It's gigantic. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Yeah. Now, again, this is not a scalable thing because each tennis ball does cost like $1.12, which doesn't sound a lot. But when you're giving out,
when you have to get like 50, right?
Yes, I'm giving 50 of those out at every event. Like, no, that is out of the question. So I'm still messing around with that. I think we are, because also I was experimenting with this of previously I would have some cards on me, but I really tried to use a digital card on my phone where you would scan a QR code and it would populate all of my information. But because a lot of people they're so businessy that they're like, they don't want to be on their phone at these events. Like they just want to sit and talk and like grab a card from you because they're going to process this later. The phone was actually a hindrance for a lot of people. Plus, we're also doing what? We're sitting down. Men have their phones in their pockets. Women have them in their purse or in a clutch, and they don't just have them sitting out on a table going from place to place to place. So me sitting there with my phone out, getting ready to scan, like it was actually guys were reaching into their pants and or digging down in the purse to try and find it. It was like, oh, okay, that's actually a detriment, and I need to use that more as a true backup of if I run out of cards, I can say, well, I don't have my card, I just ran out, but here's this. You can scan this if you'd like more information.
Or if you're in an event standing up, then you can live.
And I was thinking about that of like, oh, right. When I have gone to
like
events,
those mixer things,
the mixers, that's where it's much easier to just because phones are already out. They're already kind of holding them or it's easier to reach into your pocket. You're not having to do that awkward like side shimmy to get into the butt pocket or whatever. So yes, when you're at the stand-up mixers, definitely use the phone. Way more convenient. But the cards at table to table, not so much. And then, and I'm also like trying to get him like learn from people and excuse me. One of the ladies there. Well, first off, she's walking over and she had contacted us the day before about dog walking for her dog. So she was very excited to get to meet me because we hadn't actually met in person. So I made sure she got a tennis ball and was like, this one's, I said, I need you to have this. And she was like, oh my gosh. But she works for the Discovery Center. And
nice.
On her business card, and I'm actually going to steal this as she introduces you to the Discovery Center. And her whole job is like admissions and like getting people just to come and like get the word out and do all these initiatives. So of course, it has all the information about her and what she does. But you flip it over, and on it just says 2 free passes. So as she's introducing herself and she goes, whether you've been to us recently or you've been to us for a while, I can guarantee you we've changed, and I'd love for you to come and see what we've got going on today. And there are 2 tickets immediately there from the person in charge of admissions, basically saying, here's a free offer, here's money on the table, come see what we have.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
Pretty intense. Like that's really
right now. If that's actually like, so now I can go like, I need to have one, like I need to have a little code on the back that just says 1 free walk, like redeem for 1 free walk. That way they can meet me, have a good interaction, and I give them a gift immediately as I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Like it's not just an annoying, because that way there's value to that card too, because if you know that there is a dollar amount associated with something on that card, you're more likely to remember it, hold on to it, and know where it is, as opposed to just going, this is somewhere I'll just Google the person later. Well, you can't Google for the free passes, can you? No, you cannot. No. So I'm like, oh, I really like that because it does so much in that one transaction of like, here's this. And then, they can, if they pass that card on, now they feel good about giving a free gift to somebody as well. Like there's so much psychology tied into that. And so we're printing off business cards with free walk on them to give away. So I did pick that up for them.
It's pretty good. That is the other good thing about this. You do get to like steal stuff from people, right? Because that's cool.
Well, and then afterwards I was complaining about how I can never find a business card that I like or whatever into a small group. And of course this guy reaches into his pocket and he's like, that's exactly what we do. And he hands me his business card. And I was like, oh, I need
a business card maker.
Yeah, pretty much is what he was. And I was like, I need to complain softer.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. When somebody offers me a solution, you're like, no, I just want to complain for a second. I'm good now. I don't need an actual solution to this problem.
Yeah,
I can figure that out later. I just need to vent and be done, and so I can move on with my life.
uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know, but like I gotta.
No, where it's sometimes like, oh, yeah, it's like now I feel bad because I openly complained, and you're like, I'm solving this for you. I'm actively solving this for you. And it's like, no, I didn't. I
like,
just
oh,
wanted
I
to.
don't
I just
actually
wanted to
want
complain a little
Yeah,
bit.
I just want to complain sometimes, man. It's okay. Sometimes you just need to complain about stuff,
Yeah,
right? It's
can't
okay.
we just do
You just
that?
gotta like be like, "Roar." Okay, I'm done. Because now, once I complain, I feel better, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm able to like move on with my life, and it's fine. Like I don't. Sometimes that is my solution. I just like complain about things, and then I'm like, okay, done. I guess.
mm-hmm.
I had to explain that too. I told that to the lady that we had last year at school, the instructional coach lady. I was like, in our first meeting of the year, I was like, all right, I need to tell you something very important about myself.
Oh,
Right. That I just need you to know that sometimes I just complain about things. Now, that does not mean that then I need you to attempt to find a solution for me.
Yes.
Because I don't want to put that on you. Right? I'm not trying to put that on you. I'm not trying to make you feel like, because her job is to be like a helper, then to help the teachers do stuff, right? And all that stuff. So like right. So I don't, unless I directly ask you for something. Right. Don't feel like you actually have to do anything.
No,
sometimes I just need to complain to somebody and then like, all right, I'm good. Like that's just all like, so I told her, I was like, I need you to know this. This is a very important piece of information that you need.
No, it really is because
Some people are problem solvers.
Yes.
Right? And they're like, oh, I can fix that. And I'm like, no. I don't need to fix it. Okay. I can actually come up with a solution myself, probably. Eventually anyway.
Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's all I need. Right. I just need to vent it out. And it goes away.
Absolutely. Well, and really you're helping absolve that person of that guilt, right? Of that, like, you're cluing them into how you operate as well, of going, look, this is just a thing that I do. Like I try and do this with our employees, of going like, look, Megan and I are night owls a lot of times. Like we work way like 11:30, midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes. You may have a message from us. Do not respond to that. This is just, we get things off of our plate. Now, what I have started to do is actually just to schedule messages instead of, because I used to just hit send. But now the software that we use, I can type a message and then schedule it to be sent at 9 the next morning. That's been helpful. That is
very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
This is like freak people out, right?
Yes.
Like,
because we'd have people who would like wake up at 3 a.m. because, they've got to go to the bathroom, and then like they respond to a message. Yeah. And I was like, no, don't do that. But of course, I'm forgetting to like, yeah, I'm your boss, right? And many people have this relationship of like, boss message, I have to respond. And I'm like, no, we're fun, pew pew, like it's fine. But they're like, boss, right? Right. And so for you to, you going like, right, like I know you are here to help me. Like you going to this person, like, you are here to help me. I know that, you have your interpretation of what that means. I'm telling you, when this happens, right? No matter what happens, don't open the door.
Don't open the door, right? Don't do it. No matter how much I scream, don't do it.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Well, we went on a bit of an adventure last Saturday.
Oh,
small one, or a small adventure,
just a bit of adventure,
just a bit of adventure, a little teeny one, right? With one of our friends, right? We actually went back to the Japanese stroll garden thing for like
Oh,
the tea. There was like a tea tasting situation to happen. Japanese tea ceremony and tea sampling extravaganza.
What?
Yeah. Right. First of all, okay, hold on. Before that though, we also since we went to the Japanese tea garden for Japanese tea, I decided we should have Japanese food for lunch.
You have to get it's about getting the mindset, right?
It really was all about theme, right? It was thematically appropriate, right, for this. And so we went to Omo. Have you ever been there?
I have not.
Bro, yo, this is good stuff.
Yo
This
to
is
the Omo.
not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yet.
But brief review of Omo Japanese soul food in Missouri. It's over by like in Chesterfield Village, right?
Oh,
it's like
really?
right next to that like Garbo's Pizza or whatever. Remember that place?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I walked by that and went, whoa, I haven't been there in a long time.
Absolutely.
I think wow, I forgot this place existed. But it's like right over there.
Okay.
Huh. And they have like all kinds of stuff, right? And not just like they do have like ramen and stuff, and they do have sushi, but they also have like other like normal like Japanese food. Like they have those little like bento box lunch things. They're super sick, right? They're really good. That's what I end up getting. But they have a whole bunch of like really good, like more normal like Japanese like pork and rice or katsu rice with and different types of noodles and stuff. It's like so it's more than just like the standard ramen that you can get places. And it's really good.
Really?
Yeah. They also had mochi ice cream. Bro. Because we had to have some dessert, right? And they have that dango stuff or the dongo, I guess. A is long, A, dongo. It's like rice ball things. It's really good. So my review of Omo is I'm going back because there was like 5 things. I was like, oh, I want to eat that. I can't do that all today.
No. That's too much.
Yes, but it was fun. So we went there. Me and Susan and one of our friends went there. So again, brief review of Omo Japanese restaurant. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Okay, I love this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So then I don't know exactly how Susan found out about this, but there was like something in conjunction with this other lady. They were doing like Japanese tea stuff at the Stroll Garden. Right? Because they have like a little tea house sitting out there by the pond, right? And so they were doing like tea stuff. Then they had them scheduled like throughout the weekend. They've done it before, I guess, earlier in the year, but they're not going to do one next month because it's too hot. They're like, it's going to be too hot in that little tiny room. No.
Now, were they okay? I have so many questions here.
Right.
Talk to me. Were they doing like the tea ceremony, or were they just? Oh,
yeah, right. But it was like the informal version. I have a note about this. Right.
Oh.
So apparently, right there. Okay. So first of all, I talked to the lady quite a lot. She has like studied in Kyoto at one of the 3 major schools of tea.
School of tea.
Okay. There are 3 major schools of tea, right? Japanese tea ceremony stuff, founded in the 1500s. I am going to go ahead and apologize for all of our Japanese speaking audience here. Sinuriku was like the first person to like sort of start to codify tea based things, right? And he had 3 grandchildren that sort of founded different schools of the tea ceremony. And this lady studied with the Urasenke family, right? Which are now on their checks notes 16th generation of tea masters.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
So in Kyoto, she's been to Kyoto. She did the program there. She still does lessons, but like over like online with them, right? So she's learning all this stuff. a lot of the school differences are, I guess, about like the detail, because it's very formal, right? Even the informal thing that we did, it's still all very formal. Like, I guess some of the ways about like how you hold the ladle, right? The way that you place the ladle down, right? I think there's some differences between the schools about these type of things, right?
Huh.
Like the aspects of how it's done. I don't know exactly, right? And so there's two types of these tea ceremonies. There's one that's like very informal, right?
Okay.
Chake, maybe. Sorry again. Uh, and it's like there's just some tea and some snacks, and it's like more chill. You're also not sitting on the tatami, right? Like you're not kneeling on the floor for forever. Because there is also a very formal tea ceremony, cha ji, maybe, that can be 4+ hours long. Gross.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's like tea and food and desserts and sake and more tea and like
I see aforementioned tea.
yeah, it's a whole deal, right?
Okay.
Like, yeah. So that's some of that, right? I learned that there are very like she was talking about how some the one of the reasons it takes so long to learn about this stuff is there are like the like season of the year becomes very important to like what is served at the tea ceremony, right?
Really?
Yeah. So like there are like some things are like pretty, there's two like major seasons, like the warm months and the cold months, right? And so like the biggest difference there is during the cold months you actually have a hearth in the floor where you build a fire and you sit around the fire, right? In the warm months you do not do this. Right? You do not
sit by the fire.
You do not use the hearth in the floor.
Fair
it's
point.
Like in the room, it's like a room, right? And then there's just like a little fire pit in the middle.
Hey.
Right. And so when we were there, they weren't using that because again, June.
The fire was in the sky above you.
Yeah. So the little thing is really cool, right? She said that it's not like the correct size for an official tea room, but like it's like a miniature version. So like some of the stuff is not quite right, but like the basic idea is there. But it does have the like sliding door thing, you know, like from Totoro, they all have the sliding door deal. It's like very traditional Japanese construction. So we did have all the doors and windows and stuff slid open. So that was nice at least. But like for the summer one, they like, there's like a table that she was sitting at. And like, there's like a little burner thing on the table and she's sitting like opposite you. So like the heat and everything is away from all the guests. Wow. And you're supposed to sit in a certain way and the tea is all passed in a certain thing. She passed out a script here of like what you're like the important things that you're supposed to say, like thank you, and you're always supposed to look because you go from left to right.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So if the lady's sitting opposite you, then like the person to her left goes first and then you go around because you make all the tea one at a time. Right. And so you're supposed to, there's like a whole script. You always say the person to your left, like, you know, excuse me for go ahead and going first. You like say, excuse me, and then that kind of stuff. So it's very formal, right? There's like the thank yous and the oh, excuse me, and then please enjoy your tea, all this stuff. And so she'll sit there and like, she like cleans the little bowl thing. And then like does the water thing and like all that stuff. And then she like makes the tea with puts in the measures out the powder and like does the whiskey thing, like with the big bamboo whisk deal. Like, yeah. And then like checks it all and then gives it to the person. And she made like little sweet things too, as like little rice and bean paste things. It's supposed to be cooling, I guess. I don't know. It's good. I only spilled a little bit of bean paste on my shorts. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. How about that?
Yeah. And so we all did that. Like there was like 5 people there. There was like us 3 and then like 2 other random people that had signed up for this thing too. Because that's just about all that could fit in the room.
Oh, so it is that small. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's small. And so we did that. So we had that tea, and then she sort of talked about some of the stuff and all the little things and whatever. And then like we got to make stuff. She gave us different bowls, and we got to like whisk it up with a little whisk and all the stuff.
Oh, wild.
That's cool. Right. Oh, she also said that you're never supposed to drink the tea that you made. Right. So we passed it around. We like made it and then passed it to the person, and then we drank it that way. So it's a sign of respect that you put all your hard work into making this and then you give it to somebody else.
Oh my gosh!
Damn, there you go.
Very a selfless act.
Yeah. Huh, that was really good. Apparently, I learned it was all matcha tea, right? Obviously, Japanese tea, right? I learned there's 2 types. I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure on how these are different. There is a thick tea and a thin tea. Right? That's how they describe it. Historically, I did some research when I got home. Historically, the thick tea is the fancier tea. Right? The thin tea was made from like the leftover leaves. Right? That was used in like packing and stuff. Sorry, it was like the leftover. They'd grind it up and it was like but like I don't really know how to describe it, but I don't know if there's like less water in the thick one. I know it is definitely thicker in the mouth when you're drinking it, right? It feels more like thick. I don't really know.
It's kind of like more of a coffee kind of thing, or like that thick, or just
yeah, I feel like maybe there's more. I don't know if there's more powder to the amount of water you put in there, but it just feels thicker, right? So like, yeah, it like coats your mouth different. It's much, much more potent too. Like it really tastes like boom tea, right?
Cool.
That's good. I liked it. Everyone else liked the thinner tea. I was like, weak. No, as a coffee person, maybe I was like, yeah. But it's cool. She had all kinds of different little bowls, right? Apparently, there's also different bowls for different seasons, right? Sometimes you use the shallower, flatter bowl. Sometimes you use a steeper side bowl. Oh, right. I got distracted. That's what I was going to say earlier. So there's like the 2 main seasons, the hot months and the cold months. But apparently, there's also like subdivisions within each season, and there's like a lot.
Of course, there are.
And I don't know exactly what they're based on, but like she said that those seasons can dictate the stuff that goes into the ceremony, like what type of incense there is, what type of tea it is, what type of snacks or other little treat things that you have in there, what utensils, what clothes you wear, like I said, the bowl that you use, right?
Oh my
Whether or not you use the hearth, right? So there's like a whole bunch of like minutia that's like crazy.
That is crazy.
So, yeah. So it was really kind of neat. It was really interesting. The lady was super interesting too. Her story was really interesting, right? She's like, yeah, so I was just like hanging out, and she was like a casual Japanese culture enthusiast, right?
Of course.
And she said, yeah, I was like a lot of people, I watch anime, whatever. And then I went to something and I took there was like some sort of class or whatever she went to, and she was exposed to tea, and she was like, nope, that's it. I'm doing that.
No.
And she like got some sort of degree in like Asian studies, and she went to Kyoto and studied with this dude. She went all in, dude.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's like, apparently, it's like, not to stereotype too broadly, but like a lot of Japanese things are very like serious.
Oh, yeah.
And so like the tea ceremonies, like there's lots of these like really minute aspects that are connected to like different elements of Japanese culture. It sort of like brings everything in together.
Sure.
Right, like art and philosophy and religion and architecture and landscaping and cuisine and
Oh my
crafts,
gosh.
even because you can have like floral arrangements, and there's like a scroll thing that's really important for in the corner that you have to put there, and like the different incense that you have and all that stuff, right? So it's kind of intense, right? Like it's a big deal. But it was neat, man. So that's what we did. Met this lady, pretty cool. Her name's Jennifer, by the way. Shout out.
Oh,
What's up?
and so okay, so when she's not being like tea ceremony extraordinaire, like is that like what but what kind of, I don't know, like I'm now like, what kind of day job does this person do, or like
No,
what does
like
this person
okay,
do
so
outside?
she does this kind of stuff a lot. She does classes, she does private events. She also does like she she works out of Northwest Arkansas a lot. So she'll do like um she does incense making stuff. She is going to be doing a Japanese floral arranging workshop, right? She sells tea, certain teas sometimes, right? She like goes to different festivals. She like makes treats and she does tea ceremonies. So she like does all kinds of like she does all the things, right? Like she's like taking a bunch of people on a trip to Kyoto, right? In October. So, like, she's
What?
like being the tour guide person, right?
Oh,
So
okay,
like
that's super cool.
yeah, she does all that stuff. So she's like really all over it. Like that's what she oh yeah, I'll send you her website. Here's your stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, bam. There's but yeah. So she does all kinds of stuff. She's quite busy with it, right? Yeah.
Huh. Oh, so she travels all over.
Travels a lot. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. So she's super nice too. She's a really sweet lady.
Oh.
So
I'm gonna join a class.
So we did, yeah. She does those kind of things. She does like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there you go. So shout out Jennifer. Right. What's up?
Okay.
How's it going?
Huh.
Yeah. Boom. There you go. That's what
I love it. Love it. Okay. Well, neat. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the tea was really good. So just like it was awesome. It was really good.
Wow. She's booked out the next 6 months, people, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. It's apparently a very busy thing to be doing.
Yeah.
Right. Like and she does travel to all these like different events. And I guess in Fayette, but wherever there's like another big Japanese floral garden there, she does a lot of work out of there in Northwest Arkansas. So a lot of her stuff is kind of there. But she's also coming back to Springfield for a couple things.
They're raising money to build an authentic Japanese tea house.
Yeah.
That's going to require highly skilled Japanese woodworkers and roofing specialists to create their vision. Like the actual tea house.
The big one.
Biggins. Right? Okay, guess. Do you want to know how much a biggin costs?
I don't think I probably do, but hit me.
Okay, $1.2 million.
Well, I mean, a lot of that, if it always has to be done by like hand and stuff like that, then
yeah. And if you have people coming over from Japan to build this, like that's a little a matcha tea whisk. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I gotta get off the site. This is
right.
Dangerous.
It's well, we decided that we may need to get a tea whisk because we do have some matcha tea powder. It's probably not up to Jennifer's standards. Don't tell her that we don't have the real. It's fine. It's fine. She knows we're learning. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. You're trying. You're trying. You showed up. Okay.
Yeah, we did. Trying to learn these things. Right. But yeah. There you go. So she does all the stuff. I don't know.
That's amazing. That's cool. Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So boom, there you go. That was our big adventure. So yeah, bam, tea acquired. There we go.
Do. Very nice. Love it.
And then of course there was reading.
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah.
How many chapters did we say we were going to read again?
4.
Okay. I think I only got through. I only did 3. Sorry.
Oh, I just
realized. I just sat down and I was like, oh, I think I said 3. Anyway, so we'll find.
That's okay. Okay, that's fine. So yeah. Boom. All right, we'll stop it. So you did not read the Merlin's Tower chapter?
No, I did not read. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's cool. That's fine. That's fine.
The
other 3 go together very well. So they just all flowed right through. So that's fine.
Yeah.
No worries.
It did. I'm making my note to remind myself. And we'll read 4 again next time. We'll read 4, 7, 8.
4 from where you stopped, or 4 from?
7. We'll start at 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Next time. Okay. Anyway, so now that the prologue's over, man, Hank is getting himself into some sticky situations here.
It's true. Or out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we start on 4. Yeah. 4 again picks up where we talked about last week. We're still in the hall, like telling the story, right? Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Right, about how he got here, right? Who is this person? Why is this guy here, Sir Kay? Tell me about where he came from, right? He does start, well, he's just like looking around at those people and he's like, why? These people are idiots.
Yeah. He has so much disdain
right?
For these people. Like the jokes really are like, well, especially Dinadan or however you pronounce that, like the humorist, or he's just like, you are not funny. Like this is ridiculous, right?
I did like, right. So he's talking about this guy, he's telling the joke, and it's like the most boring joke of all time. And he can tell that the guy just tells the same joke over and over again.
Yes.
Like, these jokes were rotten and the rest were petrified. I said petrified was good and believed myself. That was the only right way to make classy the majestic age of some of these jokes was by geologic periods. But that neat little idea hit in a blank place, for geology hadn't been invented yet.
Right. Yeah.
However, I made a note of the remark and calculated to educate the Commonwealth up to it when I pulled through. It is no use to throw away a good thing merely because it hasn't ripened yet.
Yes. Yeah. So he was like, you know what? I'm sticking with this. That's what I'm doing.
I was like, he made a joke and no one got it. He's like, I'm saving that one for later. It's lost on you. You're not good enough.
Yeah, no, but put
that one and save it for when I get back home. That'll get you. It was also, side note, in this, when I was reading these chapters, like I basically was done reading in like 5 seconds because they read so well,
yeah.
Right? Just the way that Twain writes, like how people speak.
Yes. And not in a clunky way, like in like it really is, the conversation truly flows when you are reading this.
Yeah, even just his prose, even when it's like the internal monologue, right?
Yes.
Like it just like blitzes through, right? And it's just because sometimes there was one, I don't remember what paragraph it was. I probably can't find it now, but like you're just reading it and it's like it's a whole paragraph in the book and it's basically just a sentence, right? But you don't even really notice because of the way that he uses punctuation, semicolons and colons and commas, right? It just like flows through like how people talk, right? You can kind of read it in a cadence that makes sense. It's not stilted. And the dialogue, like you said, his dialogue is very good. And even though he's trying to write some of these dialogue in like ye old timey language, right? And it kind of comes off as weird. Like even that dialogue still flows pretty fine, and it doesn't really it doesn't interrupt the pace too much. So it's like it's really like fun to read how he writes, right? Well, oh, you're gone again.
Sorry, no, I had muted to
Okay.
cough and I had forgotten to unmute myself.
All right. I thought I just make sure we didn't have a problem like the other day. You just like vanished.
Oh my
for a long
gosh, it
time.
was so weird. It was so bad. Anyway, but yes, it is because he somehow found a way to write, and I looked into more of his writings like this. Like that was just his gift of making words digestible easily. Like they just roll right through.
Yeah. So anyway, we get through this Sir Kay story, right? And he's talking about like how he found him in the far off land of barbarians, and they all wore the same ridiculous clothes, and
the prodigious
clothes
giant.
are enchanted.
Oh yes,
it makes it so that you can't harm him, and so like everybody started like freaking out, like, oh no, this is so scary. He's impervious to danger, and he's just standing there going like, what? Because it's like so clearly false that he's just like, what? What do you mean? You believe this? Like,
yeah. Well, I love it. He's just standing there, right? You just tell like he's just like, you can imagine somebody standing there with their arms kind of out to their sides with their hands up and just like looking from left to right. Like he did, like, really, like this is really like, no, like there's no way. You're like the size of a cow. The stone was thrown at him to.
Yeah, he starts talking about how giant these people were, right? He spoke of me all the time in the blandest way, this prodigious giant, this horrible sky-towering monster. Skip down and he's like, everybody took all this bosh in the naivest way, never smiled or seemed to notice that there was any discrepancy between these watered statistics and me. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm clearly not a giant. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
Right. And so we've decided that, he's dangerous and he must be put to death. And they're like, he's like, oh no.
What?
And then all of the people were like, but how could we kill him? His clothing makes him impervious. Yes. And they're like, take him off. Like,
yeah, Merlin stepped in. Yeah. Was that Merlin? I think it was. Yeah.
Or was it Arthur?
Arthur?
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, dang. It's like, oh.
Oh, no, it was. Yeah. Yes. They were so troubled about my enchanted clothes that they were mightily relieved at last when old Merlin swept the difficulty away for them with a common sense hint. He asked them why they were so dull, which didn't occur to them to strip.
So he's standing there in the middle of the court, like naked now. It's like, dang it. And he gets carried off to jail.
Dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun. Sadness. Right. Where he woke up hoping that he'd been dreaming of this whole thing. Right. That's the first thing he says. I woke up. He's like, can't wait to get a good laugh out of this and get to work. And then he looks around and it's like, dang it. And then Clarence is there. He's like, man.
I love I just then heard the harsh music of rusty chains and bolts and light flash before my eyes. Like, oh no. Not good.
It's old Clarence is just here coming to see how he's doing, mucking everything up again.
Starts asking for some help with the escape though, right?
Yeah, it's true. He's like, we can get out. And he's like, what? No, you can't. He's like, oh, look here, I'm gonna tell you. I like here. This is where he kind of comes up with his plan. He's like, he's got this big long monologue. He's like, well, what am I gonna do? I have to think my way out of this, right? I'm gonna escape, blah blah. He's like, how are you gonna escape? And he's like, well, I'm a better wizard than Merlin.
Well, because up to this point, Clarence is telling him like, you can't escape out of this. Merlin has all his spells all around, and nobody can get out of this because of Merlin. And Merlin is basically putting him up of like, and obviously Hank doesn't. He's like, whatever, like that's not real. But like, he's now trying to think of ways to now, outwit that.
Yeah, I like it. Was like, oh, that cheap old humbug.
Yes.
He decides, but wait, where's it? Where he goes off. It's just the yeah. Don't he's like, I've known Merlin for hundreds of years. And he's like, what? He's like, don't interrupt me. Shush.
Yes.
He has died and come alive again 13 times and traveled under a new name every time. A new alias every time he turns up. I knew him in Egypt 300 years ago. I knew him in India 500 years ago. He's always blethering around in my way everywhere I go. He makes me tired.
Yes. It's so
I
great.
just love this plan of like, oh yeah, that schmuck. He's always, I've known him forever. But he's kind of like, also, I think he's sort of being like, I know I've known people like this my whole life, right? People that think they're like so hot and like they just know everything, and you're just like, go away.
Yeah, well, he calls him. I want you to get the words, the king, that I'm a magician myself, and the supreme grand Hayamukamuck, head of the tribe. Yeah. I meant that.
Head of the tribe at that, whatever. Just blah blah blah.
Will you get that to the king for me?
So he just like casually throws this out here, and the poor boy was in such a state that he could hardly answer me. Like it terrified this kid, right? He's like, no, because he's already scared of Merlin. So when this guy's like, oh no, my plan is to be more better than Merlin, it like actually backfires slightly and scares Clarence too much.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, dang it. Right? Not foreshadowing for next chapter at all, but it
yeah. Well, and then he's like, oh, did I overplay my hand too much? And is Clarence going to be now start going like, now wait a minute, if he's such a big bad magician guy, like why is he going to start putting two and two together on this? Of like, how did I get caught like this?
That's true. He does also say, it occurred to me that I had made another blunder. I had sent that boy off to alarm his betters with a threat. Oh no. Because he did say that, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna do this and blah blah blah. And so he did kind of think like, ooh, did I mess this up? So yeah. But he also says, oh, I sent him off to go get the king without fully developing my plan.
Yes, I have.
So, oh no, I've got to think about what to say if King actually comes down here. He's like, I probably should have come up with a plan first.
Before they ask. Yeah, what my big thing will do.
Yeah, he's like, I messed up here. I didn't do this in the right order. Yeah, it's like, suppose they should ask the name of this calamity. Yes, I had indeed made a blunder.
But then it comes to him in an instant of just like, what is it, Chekhov's gun that was placed above the mantle with
it's back.
Eclipse has made an appearance.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait for very long. Here it is.
Yes.
So he says, yes, I will. He says that he will block out the sun, right? So that's going to be his big calamity, right? So he did that. So he that's what he claimed to do. He's like, I'm just going to block out the sun, and we're going to do this, and it's going to be terrible. Blah blah blah. He like is very dramatic about it, right? He says, go back and tell the king that at the hour I will smother the whole world in the dead blackness of midnight. I will blot out the sun, and he shall never shine again. The fruits of the earth shall rot for lack of light and warmth, and the peoples of the earth shall famish and die to the last man.
Yes.
And again, he sort of overdid it a little bit there. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. He really The 20th? Yes. Am I to be burned alive tomorrow? Yes. At what hour? Noon? High noon, right? It just, again, the writing here is just, it's so boom, boom, boom. It's so quick hitting because like I really like this. And for a reader, now this kind of story is hard to read aloud to somebody because it is hard to have that quick back and forth conversation while reading. But like when you're just reading it to yourself, it's like, yeah, this part of these kind of back and forth, because he's not saying, at what hour? Clarence asked. At high noon, I proclaimed. It's like, no, like,
it's just pow, 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 pow,
yes,
pow. Yeah,
it's so good through this. I love this.
Hemingway would be proud, right? Just bam, 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 bam.
Yep. Yes. I had to carry and I had to carry the boy out myself. He sunk into such a collapse. I handed him over to the soldiers and went back. Oh, poor Clarence.
Yeah,
he's really.
He's having a rough time here. So that brings us to the next chapter, right? The eclipse. Right.
Yeah.
Now we have a bit of a problem, right? Because he kind of freaks out a little bit too early because, right, he's just kind of hanging out and he's just waiting for the next day, right? Because this is the day after, right? He's supposed to be executed in 2 days, right? That's kind of what's happened here. Supposed to be the day after tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. And so now this next chapter is like the next day. So he's just kind of waiting around. He's thinking about it. He's trying to figure out what to do. He says, he wanted to gather this triumph and he was trying to figure out what he was going to do after that. Like after he proves this, he's going to kind of lay his plans for whatever and get ready. And all of a sudden the door opens and some people come and they're like, the steak is ready. And he's like, what? What do you mean?
Yes. But this is a mistake. The execution is tomorrow. Or they say, order changed, been set forward a day.
We moved it up. Haste thee. Like, I was lost. There was no help. I was dazed, stupefied. I had no command of myself. I only wandered purposely about.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like, so he's kind of freaking out, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, what happened? Right? And we find out that the reason it got moved up is because he had told Clarence that his power would be the greatest in 2 days. So Clarence convinces everybody that in order to avoid this terrible catastrophe, we should move it up a day.
Yes.
Because he won't be as strong. Oh no, because he scared him so badly with his rhetoric about being a better magician than Merlin that it like horrified Clarence. And he's trying to not become dead with the sun blacked out.
Yeah. He says, you will not need to do the sun a real hurt. Forget not that on your soul. Forget it not. Only make a little darkness, only the littlest little darkness, mind, and cease with that. It will be sufficient. They will see. It's
it's so. He's like, we're doing this for your sake. He's like, for my sake. Thanks. So they go through the whole deal. He gets taken out there. He sees the giant crowd. There's a big stake in the middle of the courtyard with tons of firewood underneath it. Right?
Yes.
It's like, oh no. What? So he's just the whole time like horrified and trying to figure out what he's going to do. But that's difficult because it's too hard. Right? Like, it's too much and too bad and too horrible. So he's just waiting there. The priest comes up, starts talking in Latin, right? But then, dun, dun, dun.
Is this?
What's this? Right? He looked up into the sky, and the life went boiling through my veins. I was a new man. The rim of black spread slowly into the sun's discs. My heart beat higher and higher. And still the assemblage and the priest stared into the sky. Right? Turns out Clarence told him the wrong day earlier. He didn't know what day it was.
Nope, he had no idea.
So, so because Clarence told him the wrong day earlier, he had calculated incorrectly, right? And so, but now it turns out it was actually the eclipse is today. Gasp.
Yeah. 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 What is this? I was in the most grand attitudes I ever struck, with my arms stretched up, pointing to the sun. It was a noble effect. You could ever see the shudder.
That's very true, right? It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, I will point out, right? We'll point out a small problem with this part because, right, as we all know, we have experienced a solar eclipse this year.
Yeah.
So good timing with this book, weirdly.
Look at that.
Look at this. Again, more awkwardly good timing here. But as you will know, if you are not wearing the appropriate eyewear, you actually cannot see the moon covering the sun.
No.
Like with your naked eye. This is not a thing that you can actually see. You can see the lunar eclipse just fine, but not the solar one. You can only notice the effect of everything getting dark.
Yes.
Right? You cannot actually see the rim of black spread slowly into the sun's disk.
Well,
just want to throw that out there.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Right?
Thanks for ruining this.
I'm just saying next I don't want anybody. There's more eclipses in southern hemisphere, okay, this year, and I don't want any of your friends going out there and being like, well, Mark Twain said you can just see it. No. Don't just go staring at the sun. Okay, don't do that. Right?
Nope. No. But then
a public service announcement from your friendly neighborhood science teacher.
There you go.
What does it?
Yeah, and then the king and Merlin kind of have a little struggle over here about exactly what's going to happen. Like I think Merlin is a little bit interested in going ahead and lighting the pyre.
Yeah. Two shouts ring out simultaneously. Apply the torch and no, like. Merlin is definitely like, nah, just burn him and get it over with. It's fine.
Yeah. Move this on.
and then like he's now our boy Hank here is like still in a quandary because they're like, stop it, and he's like, well, I didn't actually do anything,
do that,
so I have to stall and play for time. And they're like, you should stop. He's like, I'll consider it. What are you gonna do if I do stop?
Well, and then he's like, not long, half an hour, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, because he's like, I don't remember how long these things actually last. So
yeah,
half an hour is about right. That's pretty good, right? But he's just like, it's like, dang it. Now I got to stall and play for time because I don't know what to do next. So they like use this time to negotiate terms. Right? Might as well make the most out of it.
Make the most. Ugh. Yeah, so he's kind of doing this like what you see on plays, or like he's really having to like stretch it and like also have reasons for like why he's not stopping it and like what he's going to get, and he's now in this like bargaining phase of like how, like, when does he know to cut it off and be like, okay, that's enough, and like, is it going to reach you, whatever. Like you can just tell like there's all this timing aspect too of what he's going to try and do.
Yeah, he's got like one eye on the king, one eye on the shadows. Like, is it getting lighter yet? Can I agree? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically he says, I want you to, you can still be king, do your kingly stuff, right? But make me some kind of minister, and give me 1% of any increase in revenue over this certain amount, right, in your stuff. Boom. Right, because he's now going to be put in a position to, because he thinks that he's just so far above these people with his modern sensibilities, that he's going to get it all whipped into shape. And so he wants just to make the most out of it and get a percentage increase on any percent increase that happens. Give me a cut of it. So I'm gonna
Exactly.
get you whipped into shape in no time, right?
Yeah, and he agrees to that. Obviously. And then I do like how he says as he's kind of coming down from this, he's like, and if I might ask that my clothes be brought again, please.
Yeah. Can I I'm still naked here, buddy. Can I get some clothes? And they're like, no, you can't have your clothes back because they still think his clothes are magical. So they're like, bring him new clothes. And he's like, oh, okay. As long as I have some clothes, stand out here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, yeah. I love it. And at last, the eclipse was total, and I was very glad of it. But everybody else was in misery, which was quite natural.
Yeah.
Because again, yeah, they're just absolutely terrified of him, and he's he's now like he's on the downhill slope of this. Now he's like, oh, okay, now we can move on from this, right?
Yeah, and he's like, all right. He like makes a big scene of like, okay, go back to normal. Right? He says, just pass away. Everything's let the enchantment dissolve and pass away harmlessly. And then everyone was excited about that. They're like, yay. And then they just left. Right.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah.
So he's put himself in a interesting position here, right, for our next chapter to be kind of a big shot, right? He's trying to wheel up the political ladder here. Use this idea. Now, I think interestingly, right, my big takeaway from this chapter, other than I really like reading Twain because it's really easy to read, is that this, I don't know the answer to this question, so this is just my postulation. This is like a trope right now, like the time traveler predicting things that he knows is going to happen.
Yes.
Right. Is this a Twain invention?
Oh,
is this the first time this happened
where he's using modern knowledge? Gosh.
Yeah. Because I know they're in like random movies and stuff. They've done this before. Now, some of those movies I think are based pretty heavily on this story. So I don't know if that counts. But like, I do know that in some other works there are like in time travel fiction, people do use knowledge from the future to gain something in the past. And is that a Twain thing? Right? Because this is one of the first time travel books ever. And I don't know if it is, because I know H.G. Wells' Time Machine was printed after this. Right? And that whole book is about trying to change the stuff. So, but that's like for whatever he's trying to save his girlfriend or whatever. But like, still, but this is like a manipulating the past to gain, like the Back to the Future sports book thing.
Yes.
Right. Or like, that kind of deal. Like, is that, I think the eclipse has been used in the sub movies.
Yes.
Is this, right? The eclipse is a thing specifically. But like, is this secretly a Mark Twain invention in the sci-fi time traveling genre?
Yeah, because it is important to note like we're not talking about time travel, because even like something like Rip Van Winkle is time travel, right? But that's to the future. But like he's not. But this is the very specific, like I'm going back in time with modern knowledge to get something, to gain, to benefit, to influence, or to impress somebody based off of what I have.
Yeah. And so like, I feel like that may be like secretly a Mark Twain original trope here. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'll do some research on this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I only sort of thought about this earlier today. But like, is that like a secret Mark Twain legacy?
Oh.
Right? Like was that Evil Dead 3, right? Where he goes back in time and he does all that stuff, right? Is that? Mark Twain, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what.
Well, I'm going to real quick. I am on tvtropes.org, and apparently what these folks do is they break down tropes in TV shows of like, and
I like this. I like these people.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm a fan.
This one, they actually have literature, Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court. It says this work contains examples of, and it lists all of the tropes here. Specifically, I will
no spoilerinos, but
no.
Accidental time travel.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
The specific. I'm looking at the the trope of a quote convenient eclipse, one of the most iconic examples, and probably the place where this trope is usually drawn from.
Ha ha! There we go.
So, yes, man, this is insane.
All right, I'm gonna bookmark this and come back to this as we read more.
Yes, I think there's a trope finder, so you can. Okay,
guys,
well, this is.
This is the second best website on all of the internet. Right. Eclipsed only, of course, by our favorite website, cinemacast.com. Shout out. We haven't talked about that in a long time, so I want to throw that out there.
No, but I'm gonna include a link in the show notes just because it deserves that.
It does. Just people need to be reminded. This is saying, okay, we're bookmarking this, and we're gonna come back to this as I keep reading, because as we're only a few chapters in, I don't want to make too many spoilerinos for myself here, but definitely towards the end, I think we're gonna definitely come back. We may use this website to talk about some of these tropes more in detail. Pick some of our favorite
impact
ones.
on the literature.
Yeah.
Let me just remind everybody of cinemacats.com. Just she does daily posts about cats in cinema. From movies of all timelines, like she just did. She just June 16th. She posted about dustbins from 1941. There you go. Okay. Anyway, so I liked all of these. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, so I was gonna say, I know there's an old movie about a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I wonder if there's a cat in it. I don't know. The ultimate crossover.
Oh no. I'll have to see this now. Do you want me to answer this question for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. This is what I needed today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to watch that movie also.
1949, a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Do you want me to? Okay, ready? Early in the film, Hank is working in his blacksmith shop on an automobile. He sings a song. At the end of the song, Hank is banging on the car and stops and reaches inside. He pulls out an orange cat by the scruff.
Yes. This is great.
Oh, this is fantastic.
That's excellent.
That's
exactly what I needed right now. Oh, man. That's perfect.
That's amazing. Okay. That's cool. Great stuff. Look, the internet is doing its job. My goodness. Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I like it. Again. All right. So there we go.
Perfect.
Chapters done. So just for clarification.
Yes.
That means we stopped this time on. We just read, what chapter was that?
We're through 6.
Okay. So next week you want to read 7,
8, 9, 10. We will do 4 chapters next week. Yes.
7, 8, 9.
I have it written down. All right. My thing. So I don't forget that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds.
I very confidently read 3 chapters, and then as soon as I sat down, my brain went, was it 3?
Hey, it's all right.
So
no, it's fine. That's okay. Those 3 go really together, and then the next one starts off kind of like on a new thing.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is really fine. it's all right because the next one kind of is like it's a whole new deal. So
okay, look, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. Then.
Yeah, exactly. It worked out better this way, right?
Perfect.
Yeah. So so in closing, I have my Mark Twain quote of the week.
Oh yes,
right?
yes.
So Mark Twain quote of the week, right? This one, right? Because this works out good too, right? We ended on such a happy note, right? Finding out that our friends at cinemacats.com have watched the Connecticut Yankee King Arthur's Court and recorded the cats for us, right? Right. This quote is about why being angry is bad, right?
Oh.
So it's good. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured.
Ooh, even rhymes.
Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. There you go. So be happy. Enjoy cinemacast.com.
That's basically the big takeaway. Cinemacast.com. Love it.
Boom.
Perfect.
Right. And I did also not forget my haiku this time.
Okay.
Right. This time I had the opposite problem. I had the opening and ending line and I couldn't think of the middle one for a long time.
Oh.
But I remembered and I got it. So,
okay.
Here we go.
Ready.
Peaceful surroundings. Roiling cup breaks the stillness. Spirit lifting sip.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
That's great. That's great.
I think it was important that I write a haiku about tea. I think just to really bring it all together.
I think it was an absolute necessity that you do that. So, yes. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect way. And we're happy. We're drinking good tea. Some quicker than others. We're off to the races. So,
boom.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Well, and on that delicious note, we'll end.
All right.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.